Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children. Written by Earl Stein, back in the 90s. I'm your rowdy, insane neighborhood friend, Dylan.
And I'm your garden variety plant enthusiast, and I'll kill your fucking dog. I'm Travis. How's it going?
Oh, yeah, it's going pretty good. Going pretty good.
A lot of aggressive. The McCall family, very aggressive.
It's, in general, a pretty aggressive neighborhood, I feel like. At least the gardening contingent. It seems like if you garden in this neighborhood, perhaps in this town, you're a violent sociopath.
Yeah.
There's a couple of moments here where I'm just like, I don't think the kids need to be going to therapy. I think maybe the parents are the problems here. Well, maybe not the moms. I think this is going to sound crude, but I honestly think Mrs. McCall fucks a lot of people outside of the marriage. I'm just putting that out there. I just get a vibe from Mrs. McCall, and if she'd like to give me a call, please don't. That'll probably get me in trouble with Pam. So
interesting.
Don't. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like
all of the moms in Goosebumps are MILFs. That's just, and then you just assume that they're all out here just banging everybody.
Yeah.
All these.
I mean, obviously.
Goose MILFs.
They're obviously not taking care of their children, so they got to be doing something, and it might as well be a bunch of other people. Yeah, or you. Or you specifically. Yeah, go. You know what? Mrs. McCall, give Travis a call. I already did that joke in the exact same intonation, but I gave it to you.
I liked it. I liked it the second time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we have number 34. Wow. That might be the longest digression between my two sentences to introduce this. But we have number 34 in the series, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, which was released in August of 1995. We've now broken the chain of being exactly 30 years in the future of these books. Yep, 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years old.
Yeah, August 1995, I turned 10 years old.
Huh?
And I was just big bumping. I was loving the Goosies.
Oh, that means, for those of you who can't do math, that means Travis is going to die this year.
Yeah, I turned 40 here in about a month as of this recording. I know, a week.
I've already been
as
there.
Of this recording.
I'm already the big 40.
You're a ghost. You're a barking ghost.
I turned 40 secretly. And yes, I didn't want you to be worried, but I was diagnosed with terminal death, immediately. Actually, my birthday came around, doctor called, hadn't even made an appointment. He just called and he's like, "You're dead.
You're going to die any day now."
No, he said, "I'm dead." He said,
"You're dead."
Well, you're dead, not I'm dead, because that doesn't make any sense. If the doctor called someone else to say that I'm dead, he's calling other people. You. Yeah. Okay.
No, I followed yeah.
Just so everyone knows, this is going to be a 3-hour episode, so...
I did call this book Revenge of the Garden Gnomes for a long time, and it's lawn gnomes. So, where I'm from, we just call them garden gnomes, I don't know. Lawn gnome seems too fancy, because we didn't have lawns, we had yards.
Yeah, and calling them a yard gnome, yeah, that doesn't... I don't know why, that sounds offensive. That sounds like some sort of slur against, poor people or something. It's like, oh, look at those yard gnomes always being lazy and not getting jobs. Ugh. It just sounds...
That's me. I'm just a
garden
variety yard gnome. That's me.
You can't... Don't take that back. You don't take it back. You can't take it back. It's
Did you read this one?
Yes.
I mean, not this week, but as a kid.
That sounded... I'm sorry. You sounded like you were accusing me of not having read the book. Yes. No, of course. No. Yes, I did. I read the book. I don't actually think I did read this one as a kid. This is, again, the point when I stopped reading them or stopped getting them as regularly. I did read the next one as a kid a lot, but not this one.
Gotcha.
The cover.
Yeah, the next one is...
Although I only saw the Dorman 2011 cover, so I don't really remember the Jacobus cover either, so I don't think I even owned it.
Okay, well, let's get into the covers then. Good segue. So Jacobus...
I'm assuming you didn't read it as a kid, or...
No, but I remember the cover and it being called Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, and I remember being a little too cool for it. I was like, that sounds dumb. I don't know why I thought that about this one in particular, but I was just like, not for me. This one's too stupid. Which is silly because they're all kind of dumb. But Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, we got Tim Jacobus out here drawing a couple gnomes, hanging out, chilling. They look like Link from The Legend of Zelda wearing a red hat, just kind of chilling amidst some lawn decorations.
They look a little...
That's it.
Also a little monkey-ish.
They do. They don't... Yeah, you're right. They have a look to them that I wouldn't necessarily associate with lawn gnome. When I think of gnome, I think David the Gnome. I think a little guy with a big beard. God.
But David the Gnome... That cartoon was like one of those cartoons that I kind of found upsetting as a child. Where, you know, like it was in... Because in a lot of Japanese cartoons, which that was... There's so many anime shows that I watched as a tiny child on like Nick Jr. that were not produced in the States. And those were the ones that like kids or like people would actually get hurt. It wasn't like in a Looney Tunes cartoon where the people would explode and they'd be fine. It'd be like David the Gnome would fall off of his fox and they'd be holding his little sprained ankle and he'd hurt and he'd be crying and he'd be sad. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is upsetting. Well, yeah, now, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, these don't look like him.
No, these look like street thugs. These look like the guys that are going to be like, hey, give us your wallet.
They do. And they also look like they could take a fall off a fox. But, you know, it's, as far as art goes, I mean, it looks cool. It kind of is like the book. Like, I don't know what else you could do.
I do like these other ornaments were specifically mentioned in the story. But also the tagline of the book, keep off their grass, just it sounds like Old Man Stein. It sounds like the version of R.L. Stein that we've used in the past where it's just, hey, I've got like, what if that's how it started? He's just like, I've got a new scary book. It's these fucking kids on my lawn all the time. She's like, no, R.L., that's not, we can't do that as well, what if... All right, so little people, what if it's lawn gnomes on my lawn? It's like, okay, I guess that's
better.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's turning into a series of old man complaints from this point on. Like if the next one turns out to be just like imported cars are evil, and that's the name of the book. It's just like
that's Shocker on Shock Streets. I mean, it could be.
Oh yeah.
There is some trivia directly associated with this cover, though. The cover art by Tim Jacobus originally featured the gnome on the left picking his nose. Unhappy with the hand gesture, Scholastic asked Jacobus to adjust the gnome's hand and face. On Jacobus's website, you can purchase a sketch of this cover with the nose picking intact. I included a link to the nose picking. I do like it more. I mean, it's a different vibe. But it's cool.
It gives it definitely more character than the other one. For
sure. And I'll put a link to that in the show notes so people can see the nose picking gnome. And then we got Brandon Dorman in 2011. I actually like this for Dorman. I think Dorman did good. I mean, they don't really look like lawn gnomes as much as they look like witches, but it is a good look.
Yeah, they have the right air of, because they call themselves mischief gnomes. Also, I love how stupid gnomes are in R.L. Stein's universe, where it's just like, yeah, we're mischief gnomes. Like, seriously, that's your name? You're not like the Grimblethorpes or the Grinkle Trees, or like you're mischief gnomes, like the zoo gnomes that are just like, we're zoo gnomes. It's like, really? Okay.
Oh, from the Spine Tingler?
Yeah. I feel like gnomes are not the most clever of creatures in the R.L. Stein universe. But
it's true.
They're also
but they should be
haunting in how violent they turn at one point. Like it starts up being like, all right, yeah, that's kind of kooky, to being like, I think by mischief they mean moida. And that's a different level of mischief. And these gnomes look capable of murder as well of mischief. And so I feel like that's a good balance without being like outright monsters. They're just upsetting.
Yeah, I do like this for Dorman. He put 3 gnomes on the cover, which I kind of do have a problem with because there were never 3 gnomes in the yard. There were only ever 2, I believe. So Dorman,
I have a real fucking problem with this, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
you better fucking
Dorman,
sleep with one eye open from now on, Dorman.
Yeah, if I see you.
Like we don't have the usual vitriol for a UK cover, so we have to pour it on. I do not like the fact that the Goosebumps is written in jizz on this particular cover. It's
every time.
Yeah, don't like it. Why white?
I don't either.
Just make it green. It's Goosebumps. It's green.
It should be green.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next one?
I'm with you on that. We got France coming in.
Okay, this is an assault about to happen. I'm not going to be too specific about the kind of a rape. Right up, just like, holy shit, this is upsetting. Is this France or is this Spain? Good gnomes upsetting what they're doing to this little girl.
Yeah, they're trying to drag her into the bushes. They got her by the shirt. They're being. She has a flashlight. She could be whacking them. Who is the girl?
Mindy.
I guess. Okay.
Because Mindy gets kidnapped.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but it is upsetting that it looks like they're about to undress her. I just don't like that they're going for her clothes, I guess. Like, just have them reaching for her. And her expression is also not appropriately scared.
It is Spanish. I want to call out my mistake. It's actually Spanish, not French. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's also kind of got a surreal look. Like, you remember those, I can't remember the name of them, but you put the slides into the little viewfinder and you look up at the light. It kind of has that, like hue
Viewmaster,
to it.
I think. Yeah.
Viewmaster. It looks like a Viewmaster.
Yeah, it has very definite layers to it because it's got. I really like the colors. Like, it's very vibrant. But again, it has that European cover, even though it's not the Dutch one or a Dutch cover, where the kid does not have the right expression on their face. She looks more like my cat. She's just like, ah, as opposed to these 2 dirty, weird men are like trying to drag her into the bushes by her clothes. I feel like should be more of like, Jesus. Like, I want people to imagine the expression I'm making. You just do what you would do in that situation. I feel would be a different than, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't need to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I would
imagine if 2 strange men came lunging out of the bushes and tried to pull you in, and they're dressed like Christmas elves. Because I feel like that's also upsetting. If someone's dressed in a costume and is trying to drag me into the bushes, that's more upsetting than if they're just like a guy dressed like I am.
Yeah, that's how clowns got a bad rap. You know, clowns were fun until everyone started dressing as them and yanking kids off their bikes and into the woods. I do think it's interesting, though, that the Spanish cover does... I feel like it uses the Jacobus gnomes and then just puts them in a different sort of pose. Yeah. Like, it's almost exactly the same ones from
what is cover. Funny is how vibrant it is. Usually the European covers are a little more desaturated looking. They look more like the old school Nancy Drew Hardy Boy covers that always look like they, are just, drawn 60 years ago, which they were. But yeah, this one's a lot more poppin'. It also reminds me of like a Fear Street cover or something because of the girl kind of looks more realistic.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway.
Well, after that, though, we got Italy. It's a newer cover, I want to say, within the last, 10 years.
Well, this is my favorite.
Yeah, this one's part of a compilation that was released in Italy that included this, as well as The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight and Beware the Snowman. But I guess they just defaulted to the gnome. But he's cool. He's a pretty bad A-looking gnome, dude. He's got a shovel and
he's got
hanging
claws,
out,
doing
gnome stuff.
He's terrifying. This is way too far. This is not a mischief gnome. This is a gnome that
that's a murder gnome.
Eats into your belly while you're sleeping. Like, this is a monster. This is not. He's like April Fools. Like, that's not this gnome. God, it doesn't. Its eyes are just red fire. Jesus, 400 pages of Goosebumps in one book. That's nice. And only €10. That's not a bad deal right there.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal. Now, I believe this next one, I'm going to call it now. I think it's going to be your favorite. We got Korea coming in, South Korea.
Korea's gonna. I like how you specify that South Korea. God only, man, can you imagine North Korea?
North Korean cover.
Let's not. Let's look at South Korea's cover. Oh shit, it's way zoomed in because I had to zoom in to get a good look at that. Okay, what is all over there? Is that supposed to be? What is that supposed to be? That's blood. I do love that. They even put the chip in his tooth because it's Hap and Chip, and they give him the chip in his tooth. Oh, that's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's made me happy.
Aren't they cool?
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I should see if Pam will get me one.
So we got two gnomes
covered in blood.
Just with open-eyed, red pupiled stares, grinning, covered in blood. Like they've just been, like they ate
the
peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the peanut butter and smashed it in their face.
But, still, this could be just mischievous. Like, if you saw them at a distance, you wouldn't be like, oh, those are monsters. You'd be like, I don't like them. But are they murderous? Or do they just want to play some pranks on me? But I feel like it's the kind of pranks that, like, the Gremlins played on people on Gremlins, where it's just like they tied Christmas lights around the dog and short-circuited the old lady's chair so she went rocketing through her roof or whatever. Like, yeah, pretty funny. She's dead, but like, it is also kind of funny. I feel like these gnomes would be like that. They would be like Mogwai gone bad.
That's true. I mean, they do. They are perfectly on the edge of being horrifying and cute.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say that about many things, but they towed the line perfectly. I also find it interesting. I don't know how to speak or read Korean, but it is funny to me that R.L. Stein's name, you literally see an R and an L, and then what I assume is Stein is just an insane amount of characters, Korean characters. So good luck signing your name in Korean there, R.L. Stein. All right. Well, that was the covers. I liked Jacobus's artistically, but I think I have to go with South Korea just in terms of flavor. I just really dig that. I just think that's cool. Also, the nose-picking one is... Gotta love that.
No, not into Korean. Sorry, I'm trying to translate the cover. Well, according to my phone, the title translates to Two-Faced Dwarf Goblin.
I love it.
Oh, and the rest of the stuff is written by Stein, illustrated by Yang... I'm not going to say their name correctly, but Yun Bong, and translated by Li Wan Guang. So it's actually the translation and the artist. So that's the first time we've actually got an illustrator credit for Korea. I think that we've seen. Well,
good job, that person.
I think their first name's Yang, so I can say Yang.
Good job, Yang. Heck yeah.
Two-faced dwarf goblin. Good to know.
Yang beats Jacobus. All right.
I wonder if lawn ornaments are a thing at all in Korea.
I was wondering that. When I was looking through the covers, I was like, do these other areas of the world even have this as a reference? I mean, I could see it being a European thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe
they're tacky as fuck in Europe. Dylan, don't make it bad. But at the same time, don't make it a pejorative. All right.
It seems as though the Spanish are familiar. With aggressive lawn gnomes.
Well, at least aggressive little people.
Anyway.
It is interesting, actually. Hold on. I have a tangent that could take about 30 to 45 minutes for me to get through. But it's about the pure preponderance of little people stories all over the globe. Like different cultures have this idea of little pygmy people being monstrous or mischievous creatures all over the planet, as if maybe they're real.
Oh, yeah.
Chapter 1.
I think they are.
So we've got another two-kidder. Honestly, I was thinking this last book. I get it. You got to write these books for wide diversity, boys and girls. And so when he makes these families, he's like, there's a brother and a sister, and the sister's the narrator, and the brother's the little shit, or vice versa, or whatever. But, like, mix it up. Like, where's our, like, two brothers, you know, stories, like, getting up to hijinks and shit. Like, you know, make two sisters.
Where's the stepdad?
Yeah, where's his stepdad? Where's his single parent? Well, I feel like Evan, well... Oh, actually, sorry. Sorry's a...
yeah, sorry's a single
and then
parent.
in our version of,
a single,
of the new...
has a single parent.
our version of the Mummy book, he's not going to be a single parent for much longer. Or will he? Do we talk about that on air? We did, yes. That was the last episode. Our version, which Goosebumps we'd want to write. Anyway, two kids. We've got Joe and Mindy Burton. Joe's 12. We've got an older sister again. I feel like it's been a while since we had the older sister set up, at least. Mindy's 14. So probably real annoying to everybody. Like, I feel like that middle school, high school era, not a crossover period, super awkward, voice cracking.
Oh, yeah.
Testicles dropping. Just the worst. Joe doesn't really stand out to me. Like, he doesn't have a lot of... There's nothing about Joe that's like, oh, he's the scaredy cat, or he just kind of like was there. Like, he kind of likes helping his dad garden, but he's not that into it that much. Like, he wasn't that butthurt about the tomatoes or anything. But, like, I don't know. He just didn't really stand out to me as having a lot of quirks or foibles, or he's kind of...
You're right. Yeah, he's pretty standard, pretty average.
I mean, he is short and pudgy, which he says is...
just like me.
Yep, just like you. Very atypical for his family. Apparently, everyone else is tall and thin and athletic. But he says he's the best at ping pong. His sister's got no chances. Although when he's describing how he plays ping pong, it sounds like he's not playing ping pong. He's just hitting the ball in her general direction and calling it a point when she doesn't get a paddle on it and send it back to him. But he's just like... bam, right over the net into her face. And she's like, that's a point for me. It's like, I'm pretty sure you got to bounce it, right? On a table once. So we get a lot of like, he doesn't like his sister because she's organized and neat and like lines up her shoes and organizes her books alphabetically by author. And like, yeah, that's a pretty good way of organizing your books if you have a lot of books. Alphabetically by author. That sounds pretty sane to me.
Yeah, exactly.
The card catalog, nerdy, yes. But also as a kid, I would have started a card catalog for all my books and then just wandered away from it. So I definitely did that as a kid. So I didn't have the thing. The focus.
Focus power.
Yeah. So Joe's just like, I'm a piece of shit. I like shit on my floor. I'm gross and I annoy everybody, but I've got charismata and I'm super funny. So that might explain why I don't really notice anything. His personality is that he's cool. Yeah. He's just, woo.
He's just pudgy and messy and thinks he's funny. He's me. That's me.
You're not pudgy anymore.
A little bit. No, I got that dad pudge.
Oh my god, I can't. It's just
Papa Pudge. That's what they called me. Oh, Papa Pudge. Anyway, as you were saying.
Oh god, I don't want to. Mindy gets ready to serve. Joe calls out, a spider! And Mindy's just like, oh, shit! Actually, they're from Minnesota, so we should be doing Minnesota accents throughout this entire... And Mindy's just like, ah, shit, a spider! That's not a Minnesota accent, I'm just moving on. Ah, spider! And then she's just like, ugh, fucking cheater! And he's like, at least I'm a funny cheater. And it's like, not really. But then she's like, wait, where the fuck's Busta? And Joe's just like, you're just trying to get one up on me. But then Mindy's like, no, dipshit. If Buster is out, maybe she's digging up Mr. McCall's garden again. And Mr. McCall is their next door neighbor. And this there's like this whole other story almost, I feel like, that we're not a part of, because it's these two dads who are literally on the verge of killing each other by the end of the book over these shenanigans that are like, they have to think deep down their hearts that the other person is doing this to each other, right? Like, and by the end of this, if the gnomes had been just doing their shit, there would have been one dead man at the end of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But so Mr. McCall's like super into gardening. Joe's dad is super into gardening, and they enter this annual gardening state fair convention contest thing. Is it just a garden show?
Yeah,
the garden show.
Yeah, some garden show.
The state fair. I'm going to call it a state fair because that's what I grew up with, was state fairs where you took your vegetables and had them blue ribbons put on them and shit. But Mindy's worried because Buster likes to dig the fuck out of the garden. And Mr. McCall's been like, I'll kill your dog and use it for fertilizer. And they're just like, he probably will. And so they run outside. And, no, wait, they don't run outside. They're just like, whatever. Me. But then, just before Mindy's about to serve, and apparently Mindy has to set up her feet very, very specifically each time. And so it takes her about 20 seconds to get set to serve. But so before she can serve, Mindy's just like, what? Because they can hear someone coming down the stairs. And Mindy's just like, who's that? And Joe's just like, oh, no, it's McCall. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, no, not McCall. Mr. McCall? Joe, he roared. The floor shook as he stomped toward Mindy. All the color drained from Mindy's face. Her hand grasped her paddle so tightly that her knuckles turned white. She tried to swing around to look behind her, but she couldn't. Her feet were frozen in her ping-pong ball footprints. McCall's hands balled into two huge fists, and he looked really, really angry. I'm going to get you, and this time I'm going to win. Throw me a paddle. You jerk, Mindy sputtered. I knew it wasn't Mr. McCall. I knew it was Moose. Moose is Mr. McCall's son and my best friend. His real name is Michael, but everyone calls him Moose, even his parents. Moose is the biggest kid in the whole 6th grade and the strongest. His legs are as thick as tree trunks, and so is his neck. And he's very loud, just like his dad. So now we got a little bit there about old Moose, big rowdy boy. And, of course, he comes in just like a tornado, and he just wants to play a little bit of ping pong, and he scares the shit out of everybody while he does it. Mindy doesn't like Moose. Mindy's very neurotic, as we've established. She likes nice order and clean things, and she doesn't like loud, sloppy guys named Moose. I get it. Moose, then, he doesn't respect her. He steals her fucking paddle, and then he beans Joe with a ball. I love Moose. I would not want to be around Moose. I don't want Moose as a friend. I just want to read about Moose.
That's a shame because that's me. That's me.
I like hanging out with you, though. But yeah, he just comes in just, stealing paddles, beating people with balls. And they're like, once again, when they're playing ping pong, they're like, you can't just pick up the ball and swing and hit it into me. You have to bounce it off the table. Them's the rules, Moose. Moose, he's like, I don't understand rules. He's kind of like a caveman, and he just flattens the ping pong ball. He's like, fuck your game. If you want me to play by rules, then I'm not going to play. Oh yeah, Joe picks up the flattened ball and tosses it into a crate of other flattened ping pong balls because Moose has a history of this apparently.
I mean, I feel like you could get a bag of like 100 ping pong balls for $10. So like,
that's true.
Yeah. Still, you little shit.
I mean, it's rude. It is rude. Joe then tells Moose, he's like, you broke your own record for flattening ping pong balls, which I don't really get how I think he's just adding to his record.
Maybe it's how from point of entry to the basement to when he's flattened one.
Oh yeah,
maybe. It's a time trial. It's not a
That's
amount.
A good way to look at it. I was kind of confused. But this excites Moose, and he jumps up on the table and chants, Super Moose! Super Moose! Super Moose! And Mindy's like, get off of that. You'll fucking break it, dude. The ping pong table swayed, then it sagged under his weight. He was even starting to get on my nerves now. Moose, get off! Get off! I wailed. Who's going to make me? He demanded. Then we all heard a loud, sharp crack. You're breaking it! Mindy shrieked. Get off! Moose scrambled off the table. He lurched toward me, holding his hands straight out like the zombie monster we'd seen in Killer Zombie from Planet Zero on TV. Now I'm going to destroy you! Then he hurled himself at me. As he smashed into me, I staggered back and fell onto the dusty cement floor. Moose jumped onto my stomach and pinned me down. "Say Moose's tomatoes are the best," he ordered. He bounced up and down on my chest. Moose's, I wheezed. I can't breathe. Really, help. "Say it," Moose insisted. He placed his powerful hands around my neck and squeezed. I gagged. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. My head rolled to the side. "Moose," I heard Mindy shriek. "Let him go. Let him go. What have you done to him?" Bum, bum, bum. Was he just murdered by his friend?
So at the inquest, Mindy testifies against Moose and says that Joe said, "Stop. No, please don't." "I'm just kidding." Joe's just like, Mindy. Mindy leans down and brushes hair off of his folder? Off of his forehead. And Joe looks up and he's like, You're a sucker. Jets up, high fives Moose. Yeah.
Got her ass.
Woo! They're like, yeah. Sucker. So Minnie's like, I wish you wouldn't pretend to murder my brother, and then I wish you wouldn't pretend to be murdered. But then she's like, oh shit, y'all. Something's going down on McCall's yard. I think Buster's next door. Moose is just like, whoa. My dad will straight up murder your dog. You should get him out of there. Like, I'm not even joking. He has a gun. My dad has a gun. And he will shoot your dog. And there's a couple of points in this book that I'm just like, really? This is what we're doing? Where it's just like, my dad waters the garden at 6 p.m. on the dot, so we have until exactly 6 p.m. for him to notice. Just like, that's a weird timing thing to... And that... Is the dad never going to look out the window and be like, oh, my garden? No, it's apparently he just, like, walks straight out the door at 6 p.m. and he's... Anyway, it doesn't fucking matter. So Moose is just like, we gotta go over there. Oh, my dad, shoot your dog. Dog's just like, I'm not gonna fucking leave. The kids are just like, come on, get over here, Buster. And the dog's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not moving anywhere. Joe and Mindy can't move him because the dog won't move. Moose is not helping because he's like, no, my fucking dog. I don't care if he gets shot in the head. And he's just standing there. Then Joe's just like, I know what. Because this is a Rottie, by the way. It's a Rottweiler. It's a Rottweiler. And them's dense dogs. Like, they're not like tall, but they're like a little, just a dwarf star of dog.
Yeah, a lot of meat.
A lot of meat.
Densely packed with dog meat.
A lot of meat. Then Joe remembers, hey, I got a dog whistle around my neck. So he blows into it, and there's a moment where Moose is just like, hey, your whistle's broken, no sound came out. And Joe's just like, it's a dog whistle, dumbass. It's too high-pitched for people to hear. And Buster's just like, ruh-roh. And then he comes running, but he's not really running, he's trotting. You know, he's doing a canter more than like a full gallop. And then there's a loud slam. McCall just kicks open his own front door and storms out into the front yard. Bomb, bomb, bomb.
Oh, shit. Mr. McCall. He's a retired Army man, and he's always yelling and angry, and he calls Joe over. He's like, was your dog in my goddamn garden? And Joe lies. Joe's like, no, sir, no. And Mr. McCall examined. He looked through that garden, looking at all the leaves and stalks, looking them over, making sure they weren't molested by this dog. And he notices some pawed up dirt. And Mindy's like, maybe it was the wind. Let's see if it flies, Mindy. Bold choice. Mindy's like, listen, Mr. McCall, I promise we'll keep Buster out. Please don't murder our dog in front of us. We're but wee children. It would really affect us for probably the rest of our lives if you were to do that. They're all very scared of Mr. McCall. Even I am. As I was reading the book, I was like, I kind of hope this guy goes away. He's giving me bad vibes. Mr. McCall says, listen, you get one more shot, I guess, but, I'm going to have that dog hauled off to the pound if I even see him again. It's like, that's bold. Your next door neighbors, you could probably see him. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable. But I guess he means in his yard. So back home, Joe and Mindy run into their dad in the garden. They're like, oh, finally, a man we can trust. And, Dad's usually pretty upbeat, pretty happy. But today, he's moaning and groaning, looking pretty upset out there. He's not having a good day in the garden. And Dad staggers over toward him, and he's like, I've been looking for you two. I have something terrible to tell you. Dum, dum, dum. Oh, shit, Dad killed Mom.
It is weird that we haven't heard from her yet, right? And this is where I feel like R.L. Stine doesn't know anything about gardening, because the dad's just like, I found a fruit fly on our tomatoes, on our biggest tomato, the Red Queen. I'm like, I don't think one fruit fly. And also, if it's like already like the red, how long do you keep them on? Like, and so they just, we need to spray everything. And he's just like, we're gonna lose the garden show. We might as well just fucking, I need you to go and get the Flavor Aid boy, because there's no point in us going into the garden show with a fruit fly on the tomato. And like, it's real fucking dire. It's real fucking dire. Everyone's upset. The kids are kind of like, all right, we'll help you, Dad. And so they cover everything in pesticides. Just blasting you're outside. I don't understand. It's one fruit. Like, if it's one fruit fly, I don't understand.
I was also baffled, by the reaction. Like, the bugs live outside.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if it was a specific infestation of bugs that, like, live on the plants. But if it's a flyby motherfucker, what are you gonna do? Like, this isn't like cutworm or rootworm or shit like that. Anyway, moving on. They've poisoned the entire lawn, so there's not a fruit fly left anymore. And the dad is just like, well, now that that's done and we've saved the tomato, motherfucker, like, he acted like that fruit fly was in the middle of, like, just punching that tomato in the face. And you're like, I'm going to ruin this tomato. This is baffling. Anyway, Dad's just like, let's go celebrate by going to Lawn Lovely, my favorite lawn ornament store. And the kids are just like, yay.
I did get a kick out of this, though, because it made me, because I'm always kind of looking for, like, what are some ways I can be a better stereotypical father? And when I learned that you could drag your kid to a lawn ornament store, I was like, oh, shit. I Googled where one is. There's one about 15 miles from me that looks perfect. I'm taking my daughter there this weekend. No lie. I got super stoked about it.
You need to post pictures. I'm
going to get a bird bath. I'm going to definitely get a flamingo. And if I can afford a gnome, I'm getting a gnome.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, let's say you have to choose between a gnome and a flamingo. What are you going to get?
Oh, gnome all day.
Oh, okay.
Now, my daughter's going to want the flamingo, though. That's the thing. So I'm going to have to bribe.
No, just tell her that flamingos peck little girls' eyes out.
Well, that's easy.
Just tell her that they come alive at night, and they'll come into a room, and they'll just... That's what their eyeballs are built, or their little scoop beaks are built for. They're just
plucking eyeballs.
Yeah, plucking eyeballs.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why they're pink. They're pink because they love little girls who like being princesses. That's why they're pink. Let me talk to your daughter real quick. Let me terrify her about...
You should be her godfather. This is a great arrangement.
Yeah.
A lot of wisdom.
Godfathers are like... They're kind of like how Krampus is the evil version of Santa. Is a godfather like the evil version of a dad, where I'm just like, you need to behave or I'm going to call your godfather. No, he's going to take you into the woods in a burlap sack and tell you too many facts about Transformers, and not even the fun one, the ones from when he was a kid. It's heaven help you.
Yeah. It's like the upside down dad. Interesting.
Anyway, where are we? Chapter 5.
Where are we?
So we're going to the Lawn Lovely, which is run by an eccentric woman named Lila, who has turned her 3-story colonial... I don't know if it's colonial. This is Milwaukee or something like that, so I don't know. She's turned her 3-story home into a lawn ornament store with the bottom floor being for lawn ornaments and the top 2 floors being her home. But she lives over an emporium for tacky yard shit. Which honestly, I would do that. I would do that. I'm fine with that. But Dad's super into the lawn ornaments. He's already got 2 pink plastic flamingos. I feel like those were his first buys. He was the guy who's just going to go traditional, going to get the flamingos. Yep. I have to get 2, can't just get 1. And the wife was like, all right. That's a
starter set.
That's okay. Yeah. Flamingos, that's fine. And then she's just like, I opened a door because he just keeps going out and getting another one. A cement angel with white wings, a chrome ball and a silver platform, which seems a little culty. Yeah. Like a little
also
culty.
Well rendered on the cover.
Yeah. Family of plaster skunks, a fountain with swans, a seal with a beach ball, and a chipped plaster deer. And he dresses up for the holidays. Like...
And the deer has a name.
Delilah, because he named it after the... was that even in the notes? I think I just remembered that. I did.
It's too bad he already used Deirdre in the last book.
That's true. So Mindy hates them. Joe thinks it's because she wants things to be organized and they're just like all scattered all over the lawn. It's too cluttered and she finds it's embarrassing and she hates that they even have the local news did a story on it and had a picture in the front paper of his wacky lawn, which is crazy to me because it's not even that intense. Like, I feel like you need a lot more lawn ornaments before like the shopper comes by and she's like, can I write an article? Because I'm real desperate for news.
That was a great voice.
But the children, they're like, all right, let's get this over with. It's only like 2 blocks away, so they're just like, well, fine, let's walk over. Let's get this over with.
But little did they realize that this would lead to the most terrifying adventure of their entire lives. Bum, bum, bum. I'm Casey Kasem.
So Dad, he's feeling it today, dude. He probably wants to get out and scout.
I feel like he's bipolar or some shit because he's just like, one moment he's just like, oh shit, everything's ruined. And then he's just like, yeah, let's lawn gnomes. Let's get some lawn gnomes, kids. Let's spend some money.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, well, it staves off the murder. So he's going on a bit of a jaunt down to Lawn Lovely. And again, I think it's to scout other yards just to make sure that he's still got the edge on him. So he's not going to drive. Kids aren't happy with that, but they're like, it's only 2 blocks. We'll live. And, again, Lawn Lovely is this old building. It's got a tacky paint job. And again, operated by an old woman named Mrs. Anderson. And Mrs. Anderson and Dad, they get along great. Dad's been giving this lady the business, and I mean cash. I don't mean the other kind of business.
Oh, we don't.
For a good while.
Oh, he named a fawn after her. I bet you $100,000.
You think he's slamming?
Fuck yeah, man. Everyone in this town's fucking.
Okay. Yeah. Dad's a great customer for Mrs. Anderson. She's a fan. And he goes, he's browsing the selection there. He spots 2 what are described as squat gnomes, akin to the ones that you see there on the cover of your books at home. And I'll describe those gnomes for you as R.L. Stine did. I stared at the gnomes. They looked like little old men. They were about 3 feet tall and very chubby, with piercing red eyes and large pointy ears. Their mouths curved up in wide, silly grins, and coarse brown hair sprouted from their heads. Each gnome wore a bright green short-sleeved shirt, brown leggings, and a tall, pointy orange hat. Both wore black belts tied tightly around their chubby waists. "They're terrific," Dad gushed. "Oh, kids, aren't they wonderful?" So Dad's pretty stoked about these gnomes, which, based on that description, I think Tim Jacob has pretty much nailed it there on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
And Dad wants them. Now, Mindy, she's like, "Dad, those are gross and evil. Would not want those in the yard." But Dad, go to hell, Mindy. He gets them anyway. He says he can't wait to dress them up on the holidays, and I feel that. One look at those gnomes, I'd be like, oh man, Halloween's going to be fun. Christmas will be fun. Easter will be fun.
Dude, St.
Life's
Patrick's
going to be
Day?
fun with these gnomes.
These gnomes.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
Easter?
Riot for these gnomes.
Bunny ears on those little fuckers?
Little bunny, put little pails in their hands. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I can't wait till Saturday. I'm going to get a whole bunch of gnomes. Anyway, Mindy, she's mad now because she's like, well, I don't want those ugly gnomes. I'm going to stomp off to the car because I'm a brooding 14-year-old. And Joe hangs out with Dad, watches Dad pay, looks at the gnomes, and Joe's like, there's something a little unfriendly about their smiles. There's just something a little off about these guys. I can't really put my finger on it. They're just kind of got a cold stare to them. Maybe it's because they're just not real gnomes. They're just fake gnomes, but I don't know. There's just something not lifelike about them. I don't know what it is. But then Joe sees one move. At least he thinks he does. And he yells, he's like, Mindy, look. Its chubby hand grabs his wrist and won't let go. He panics, and Mindy runs over to him. Uh-oh, bum, bum, bum.
But he's just fooling. He's just like, hey, it's a fucking lawn gnome. You fucking think it's gonna grab my wrist? Mindy, you dum-dum. Dad's super excited to get the gnomes home, but he wants to name them because he always names his lawn ornaments. Oh yeah, this is where Dear Lila pops up. I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head all night now. But he names one gnome Hap because it's happy. It's hippity hoppity hap, happy. And then Chip because it's got a chipped tooth, as we mentioned earlier. They're carrying them home. Kids aren't very excited. It's a hot day. They're heavy. No one fucking likes them. Dad's super excited. He runs into the house and he's like, come on. Your mother's gonna love these ones. They're too cute to hate them. Oh. And he runs inside. He also has before he talks, because I think this is really important. Before he goes inside, he sees the McCalls out front of their house, and he talks to them, and they're just like, more lawn ornaments? Yeah, look at them. He's like, oh, they're almost as ugly as you. Whatever. I'll fuck you up. And he goes right inside. Joe's hanging out. They're just kind of hanging out front with the lawn gnomes. When Moose comes running in, it's just like, heard your old man got some ugly pieces of shit, which I find funny because apparently his parents were just like, yeah, neighbor's got some ugly lawn ornaments, because Moose is like, that's what I heard. They're ugly and gross. Then they start play fighting them, doing like wrestling moves, punching them, all that kind of shit, tickling them. Minnie's just like, could you knock it off, please? Just for 5 seconds. Could you just shut the fuck up? Could you do that for me? And they don't, because they're 12-year-old boys. Or Moose is like a 30-year-old man. Do you get the feeling that maybe Moose is just like developing slower than other children might have, and he might be an older person, and that's why he's so big? Like maybe he's actually like 22.
I just, maybe. I was also thinking just Chris Farley. I was just imagining him just as a Farley light.
But a child, not a man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not a full man Farley. Okay. I'm talking a young boy Farley. Yeah, like a Jack Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. But then, while she's trying to get them to stop, she sees that Buster is going crazy in the McCall garden again, and I feel like, keep control of your fucking dog. Like seriously, like he should be behind a fence. Or tied up or something. They're just letting him run around the neighborhood like a fucking psychopath. That's just crazy to me. But different time.
I guess also, does their dog not dig up their dad's garden?
Oh no,
just Mr. McCall's.
Oh no, because I bet the dad trained Buster to do that. I think that was the first start of this war that's been going on between the two dads that we've just seen surface level. But we got some important shit here. Hold on. I don't think I can do a Minnesota accent for these kids, so. Buster, no! They have high falsettos, right? Minnesotans.
Yeah. They're almost like South Park Canadians, but not quite.
Buster, no! I screamed. I grabbed the dog whistle and raised it to my mouth, but before I could blow, Mr. McCall exploded out of his front door. That stupid mutt again, he shouted, waving his arms wildly. Get out of here! Shoo! Buster whimpered, turned, and trotted back to our yard, head down, stumpy tail between his legs. Uh-oh, I thought, studying Mr. McCall's angry face. We're in for trouble now. But before Mr. McCall could start lecturing us, Dad pushed the front door open. Kids, your mother says that dinner is almost ready. Jeffrey, are you deliberately sending that mud over to ruin my melons? Mr. McCall called. Fuck you, Farnelstein. Dad grinned. Buster can't help it, he replied. He keeps mistaking your melons for golf balls. Are those tomatoes you're growing? Moose's dad shot back. Or are they olives? Didn't you see that tomato I rolled into the house yesterday? Insufferably, said Dad. Insufferably. I had to use a wheelbarrow. Buster's dancing all around the yard, probably because he's aware that this playful back and forth between the dads kept him from getting in trouble and turned into fertilizer. I'm concerned that Mr. McCall never changes his story about what he's going to do to the dog. Like, it's always the dog is going to be used as mulch or fertilizer. Like, he is going to murder the dog and bury it in the garden, and he's being very clear about that. But as I go back inside...
Yeah, I'm scared of him.
Yeah, he's a dog murderer. As I go back inside, Joe notices that Hap is face down. Buster's licking him. And Joe's just like, hey, get the fuck away from that gnome. Doesn't seem damaged. Then he looks at Hap's face, and he's just like, I don't believe it. Bum, bum, bum.
Joe says that Hap's face looked scared suddenly, surprised. He had a look on his face. He changed expression. They're not supposed to do that. They're garden gnomes. I'm sorry, lawn gnomes. No longer grinning, happily. But when the others come over to look, because Joe's freaking out about this, it just looks like he's grinning again. And Joe's like, but I swear he had a surprised look on his face. And they're like, Joe, are you crazy or are you goofing? You goofing, buddy. But he's like, no, I just, whatever. And then Mr. McCall tells their dad, I love this. Mr. McCall is like, whatever about the gnomes. Mr. Burton, your dog's a giant pain in the goddamn ass. And Joe's dad is like, oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, he's a rapscallion, that Buster. And Dad's like, give us one more shot, Mr. McCall. Give us one more shot with Buster, and we'll get this right for you. We'll keep him out of your yard, all right? And the dads kind of have a little bit of a mutual respect dance there where he's like, all right, one more shot, all right. And they each pull up their suspenders and march back into their own homes. The next morning, Joe, ready to mow the yard. He loves mowing, big mowing. Yeah. He's got to deal with Dad that if he does it all summer, he can get a new mountain bike. That's a good deal. Good deal, all right? I've been mowing for several summers and I ain't got shit, so a new mountain bike would be great. So once outside to mow, Mr. McCall yells at him again, veins throbbing out of his forehead. He's all angry, red in the face. He said Buster had eaten a melon just completely out of his garden. Just ate a melon, just butchered it. And he's like, I'm calling the police, which is weird. Like, what are the police going to do? Arrest the dog? What are you thinking? But then Dad shows up just in time. Hey, what's going on? And he realizes what's happening. He's like, Joe, now goddamn it, I told you to get Buster and keep him in our yard. You got him over there messing with Mr. McCall's vegetables over there, you know? We told you had one last chance. What in the fuck is going on? Now, to be clear, Buster has not been cited doing this. Buster was not caught in the act, okay? We just found a busted melon, and everyone's assuming it's Buster. So Joe's like, Buster doesn't even like melons. All right? It couldn't have been him.
That's a good truth. That's a good point.
I don't know how you can prove that, but sure. Yeah. Buster doesn't like melons. Dad's like, go tie Buster up right now to the tree in the backyard. And Joe doesn't like doing it. Buster hates it. No one likes to tie up a dog. You know, it sucks. Well, this is going to keep the dog alive for a little longer. Maybe we'll go tie him up for a little bit until we figure this out. And Dad says, and honestly, Joe, it's a good idea. Anyway, the painters are coming over. We're going to paint the side of the house. We're going to get some white paint for the side, and we're going to get them shutters black. And we just can't have the dog running around with all the paint. So let's just tie him up to the tree for a couple of days, and we'll figure everything else out. And Joe's like, God damn it. All right, fine. And he fucking hates Mr. McCall for being a jerk and blaming his dog, and he doesn't think it's fair, and he storms off. And then Moose shows up. Big old Jack Black Moose shows up, and he wants to play ring toss. Oh, yeah. And I like this idea. I thought this was a fun idea. He wants to play ring toss, and he wants to use the gnomes' hats for to score on. I was like, that's great, because my daughter's got these little rings that came with this little set, and I don't know what happened to the things that you that you put the rings on, but we just throw them around and try to get them around anything. Like if there's a stuffed animal on the floor, boom, try to get a ring around it. It's fun. Yeah. I love a good ring toss. I'm just like Moose. Anyway, Moose gets a few ringers on Chip's hat because Moose...
He's an athlete. He's like Conan Barber from Monster Blood 2 and 3.
Really is. He's... Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
I wish Moose and Conan would hang out.
Or
I kind of would like to see that buddy comedy. Or the fight. Yeah. Them and the giant hamster in the same ring. Moose gets a few ringers on Chip's hat, and Joe doesn't, so they decide for a rematch. And Joe goes and gets the rings off the gnomes, and then he notices something strange about the gnome. He sees a little orange seed poking out of Chip's mouth. Chip, you been eating melons? Bum bum bum.
Joe's just like, hey Moose, look at this. There's a melon scene on Chip. How the fuck did a melon seed? And Moose is already walking away because Moose is like, who gives a fuck, man? Like honestly, that would be my response. Like if a little kid came, okay, Mister, there's a melon seed on this gnome. How'd it get there? It's like, don't touch me. Get the fuck away from me. And who cares, kid? You have a weird fixation on lawn ornaments. Go away. Honestly, I'm with Moose on this one. If you couldn't tell. He wakes up in the middle of the night because Buster's howling. Just howling. And Joe's just like, I'm going to go check in on him. You know, that's what I do. As a good dog owner, I'm going to go check on the dog that we keep tied up in the backyard instead of bringing it inside. Bring the dog inside. What's wrong with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
But then, as he's moving around the house, he hears some sounds. He hears some little rustling. Turns around to look, but then all of a sudden he gets grabbed from behind and whirled around. Oh my fucking god! Bum 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 bum.
Oh no, it's Mr. No, it's Mindy. Yeah, he's like, I'm going out for a midnight snack of cassava melons, which I don't. Am I saying that cassava?
I don't know.
Is that how you say that? Do you know melons?
I'm pretty sure it's cassava. Yeah, cassava. Yeah.
Cassava? I know cantaloupe, I know watermelon, I know honeydew. I don't know cassava. Anyway, then he's like, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually going to snack on melons. I'm actually going to calm down Buster. He's been barking, and I'll only be gone for a second. Now I'm going to read this interaction between here. I got to get to it because he says he'll only be gone a second. So he runs out there and he's gonna deal with Buster. And he says, I'm coming. I called in a loud whisper. It's okay, boy. Buster's howls dropped to quiet whimpers. I took a step forward. Something rustled through the grass. I froze in place and squinted into the darkness. 2 small figures scampered by the side of the house. They scraped across the yard and disappeared into the night. Probably raccoons. Raccoons! That's the answer! The raccoons must have eaten Mr. McCall's melon. I wanted to wake up Dad and tell him, but I decided to wait till morning. I felt much better. That meant that Buster could be set free. I made my way over to Buster and sat next to him on the dew-wet grass. Buster, I whispered, I'm here. His big brown eyes drooped sadly. I threw my arms around his furry neck. You won't be tied up for long, Buster. You'll see. I'll tell Dad about the raccoons first thing in the morning. Buster licked my hand gratefully. And tomorrow, I'll take you for a long walk. How's that, boy? Now go to sleep. I slipped back inside the house and jumped into bed. I felt good. I had solved the mystery of the melon. Our troubles with Mr. McCall were over. I thought. But I thought wrong. Our troubles were just beginning. And that's not a cliffhanger.
Oh, no.
That's just the middle of the chapter. So the next morning, Joe, he awakens to Mr. McCall going the fuck off. This man is irate, just kicking babies and punching dudes, just pissed off, pisser off than fuck. I actually wrote that in the sheet. I wrote, he's pissed.
That's a
he's
real
pissed
phrase,
offer
yeah.
than fuck.
It's serious
is what I wrote there. He's pissed offer than fuck. The whole family has gone. I mean, this guy's so mad. Like they're pretty used to him being upset, but it would take a lot for the whole family to just run outside and be like, "What is happening?" So the whole family goes outside to see Dad's outside trying to calm him down. Mr. McCall, hey, come on now, quit. Hey, don't punch that baby. You don't even know that baby. Put that one down. All right, calm down there. Joe immediately thinks, God damn, those raccoons got up to something, and they're going to frame Buster. I just know it. But Mr. McCall shows that someone had drawn big old sloppy. I don't know why he described him as sloppy. I like that they're sloppy, though. Sloppy, spotty faces on his melons.
Yeah.
Ruining them. I don't know. I think it adds a little zest to them. Does it ruin them? I don't know. It ruins them? Fuck. Well, somebody ruined the melons by drawing on them. And then Mindy blurts out in front of everybody, Joe, how could you? Fuck you, Mindy. Bum, bum, bum.
We're watching The Wire right now. And we're on season 4. I'm learning very quickly that snitches get stitches, Mindy. All right?
That's right.
This part made me angry. I was just like,
Same.
Joe didn't say... Anyway, I'm just going to read.
Like, Mr. McCall's trying to murder our dog, Mindy. Whose team you on?
Right? I caught Joe sneaking outside last night, Mindy replied, in the middle of the night. He told me he wanted to wreck the rest of the melons. He said he wanted to eat the rest of the melons. Which, that's insane. He wasn't going to go out there. And she's turned it into wreck the rest of the melons. When clearly he was joking, Your Honor. So, objection sustained. Anyway, everyone turned to stare at me in horror. Even Moose, my best friend. Mr. McCall's face was as red as a tomato again. Everyone stared at me in shocked silence. The smiley faces on the melons stared at me too. But, I sputtered. Before I could explain, Dad exploded. Joe, I think you owe us an explanation. What were you doing outside in the middle of the night? I felt my face grow red hot with anger. I went out to calm Buster down, I insisted. He was howling. I didn't touch the melons. I would never do anything like that. I was only joking when I told Mindy I wanted to wreck them. Well, this is no joke, Dad exclaimed angrily. You are grounded for the week. But, Dad, I pleaded, I didn't draw on those melons. Make that 2 weeks, he snapped. And I think you should mow Mr. McCall's grass and water his garden all month, as an apology. Whoa, Jeffrey, Mr. McCall interrupted. I don't want your son or your dog in my garden again. Ever. He rubbed the cassava melons with his... He rubbed the cassava melons with his huge fingers, trying to erase the ugly black stains. I hope this comes off, he muttered, because if it doesn't, Jeffrey, I'll sue. Believe me, I will. Yeah, so... Mindy's a fucking snitch. That shit, man. I did not like it. I was upset. So, I'm just putting that out there. But, Joe's grounded in his room. He's bored. Reads his comics. He orders some fake rubber vomit from a catalog. I don't understand how that works from the confines of his room in the pre-digital age. Like,
that's a good call. I guess maybe he had to use a phone.
Did he fill out the order form and put it in the...
Yeah.
Because you have to pay for it first.
That's a good question. I mean, could he have called and, like, given them his parents' credit card number?
Oh, man. I feel like he's going to get in a shit ton of trouble if he does that. R.L. Stein, get back to us on that one. So... And then I did like this. He goes into Mindy's closet and rearranges her clothes because they were in rainbow order, but they are not anymore.
My daughter also organizes her clothes in rainbow order, which
oh my god,
is cute.
Just the worst. Just the worst. Wreck it. So downstairs, Mindy and Heidi. Heidi is Mindy's friend who Joe does not like because he says there's always something wrong with her. She's just like, it's too cold. It's too cold. I have trouble regulating blood. It's too cold. They're making shirts. He's just like, go fuck yourselves. And Mindy jumps and fucks up her shirt. And she's like, wah! At least I'm not grounded. And Joe's just like, fuck you. And he leaves. Because it's like, you did that, Mindy, you asshole. God, just a butthole about it. Just a real puckery butthole. He's real bored, so he goes up to his mom. He's like, hey, listen. Let me walk the dog. I'll just walk the dog, all right? That's not really having fun. It's walking the dog. And the paint fumes, they're getting to me because they're painting the house and shit. And his mom's just like, shut the fuck up. Take the dog out. Whatever. Get it away from me. Get yourself away from me. I hate all of you. Ugh. Plus, I need to talk to this painter. And she lets Joe go. So Joe takes Buster down to the pond. They have a great time. They get some ice cream. They make sure to mention that Buster doesn't eat any of the chocolate chips. He just eats the stuff around the chocolate chips because dogs can't eat chocolate. That's right. They toss some sticks. He's smart. He kills a lot of time because he's like, this is get out of jail free for however long as possible, so stay out. But then when he gets home, he sees something off about these fucking gnomes again. So he goes up to him and he realizes, those little shits, they've got black paint on their fingers. They painted them melons. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my God, these rascals. And he assumes, obviously the same paint is what was used to draw on those melons is what we're seeing.
They'd have to check that under an electron microscope just to verify if that's the same paint.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of forensic files. It's not as easy as just matching it by eye. And
really, you can just tell like it's from the same batch of paint potentially. So if it's of a large scale paint manufacturer, that's not going to do you a lot of good. But it can I'm sorry. I'll shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Buster runs over to to McCall's yard, and then Joe whistles him back. He's like, "What are you doing? You're trying to die? What, you got a death wish?" And Buster starts licking around, and then wait, what? Oh yeah, and Buster starts licking around, and he starts licking Joe, and he licks the gnomes on the face. You know, he's an excitable dog, and their faces, as they're being licked by the dog, they start to contort, make horrified expressions that Joe had seen before. The gnomes are like, gross, oh, fuck, ugh, dog breath. And then he's like, oh my God, the gnomes are expressing. I'm going to tell Mama. So he runs inside. Mom, the gnomes are making faces at me. I don't know what she would do. He begs her. He's like, come on, the gnomes are outside making faces at me. And she's like, no, I'm not. What do you know? You're crazier than the girl in the last book. She's like, okay, whatever. So she does. But when she goes out there, obviously they're back to grinning because they're mischievous. And she's like, Joe, goddamn, quit goofing. It's not funny. The gnome business is not funny, all right? We got a dog that's about to be murdered by our neighbor, okay? We can't be goofing, all right? Joe comes to the conclusion, at which we all have, from the minute we opened the book, the gnomes are doing this. But Joe had to say it out loud. He's like, the gnomes are what's doing this shit.
Shut your mouth.
They're alive, and they're getting me and my goddamn dog in trouble.
Gnomes would never do that.
These gnomes are doing it. And as he prepares to go inside, he hears their tiny little gruff voices.
Not funny, Joe,
whispered Hap.
Not funny at all,
whispered Chip. Bum, bum, bum.
That would be terrifying, honestly. Also a little hilarious that they're just like, You're right. You're right, Joe's mom. It's not funny. Chapter 13. So he wants to tell his parents that he's going crazy. Gets the courage during dinner, and then he's like, listen, Ma, Dad, gotta tell you something. The gnomes, they're talking to me now. Mom freaks out a little bit. She's like, this joke's not funny. Knock it off. Which, to be fair, she's probably like, I don't want a child with schizophrenia. Which, you don't get to choose your child. You have to love them, even if they see and hear gnomes talking.
I mean, you can choose a child. You can adopt just which one you want.
Well, yeah, but if you pop one out, you can't just be like, never mind.
But you can trade it in for a different one, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that how adoption works?
Mom's afraid that her child's crazy. After dinner, Joe's like, hey, I'll go water the tomatoes. But then Dad's just like, aw, fuck. My tomatoes. They're ruined. They're smashed and ruined. Joe's just like, oh, Dad, it's the gnomes, man. The gnomes. Oh, the gnomes. They're just crawling over the tomatoes. Can't you see? And it's like, there's no gnomes. They're not on the tomatoes. They're like, not right now, Dad. I don't see them right now. It's like, but no, Joe, that's crazy. All right. I'm not in the mood for your jokes. Okay? And Joe's just like, listen, Dad, I have to show you something. I'm going to show you the evidence of their crimes. They're going to be covered in tomato goo. They're just going to be dripping with tomatoes. And he pulls his dad around the front yard, and he's just like, look, Dad. Look, Papa. Bum, bum. Oh, wait. He couldn't believe what they found. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, my God. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to hear what they found?
I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this.
They found...
Oh, shit.
Nothing.
Oh, God damn it. This is the second time he's done this. It's like the second book in a row where he was just like, she couldn't believe nothing. She saw nothing. It's like, it was the little girl's stuff was missing from the closet. I think it's like,
Nothing. No juice, no pulp, no seeds.
No skin.
No skin.
None of them little fuzzy leaves that tomato plants have.
Oh, yeah. No fuzzy tomato leaves.
No knife and fork. Or
no
that
salt
they use
and
to
pepper.
eat the tomatoes. Yeah, nothing.
Joe feels embarrassed. And Dad, again, not in the mood for nonsense. Dad, he knew exactly who did this. I'm going to read you a little something. His brown eyes flashed with fury. I know who's responsible for this, he said bitterly, and he's not going to get away with it. He rolled around and trotted into the backyard. He scooped up a handful of smashed tomato juice. Wait, what? He scooped up a handful of smashed tomato. The juice oozed between his fingers as he circled the house and charged next door. I watched Dad march up the McCall steps and jab at the doorbell. He began howling before anyone answered the ring. Bill, come out here now! I crouched behind Dad. I'd never seen him this angry before. I heard the lock turn. The door swung open, and there stood Mr. McCall in a white jogging outfit holding a half-eaten pork chop in one hand. Thank you for the detail. He's pulling a real Aunt Catherine there. Jeffrey, what are you yelling about? It's difficult to digest with all this noise, he chuckled. Well, digest this, Dad screamed. Then he brought his hand up and hurled the smashed tomatoes. They splattered against Mr. McCall's white T-shirt and dribbled down his white sweatpants. Some of the mushy pulp landed on his clean white sneakers. Mr. McCall stared down at his clothes in total disbelief. Are you nuts? He bellowed. No, you are, my father shrieked. How could you do this for a stupid blue ribbon? What are you talking about? Mr. McCall shouted. Oh, I see. Now you're going to play innocent. You're going to pretend you don't know anything. Well, you're not getting away with this. Mr. McCall stomped down the steps and planted himself about an inch away from my dad. He puffed out his broad chest and hung over my father menacingly. I didn't touch your lousy tomatoes, he roared. You wimp! You probably bought your blue ribbon tomatoes last year. Dad shook an angry fist in Mr. McCall's glaring face. My tomatoes were the best at the show. Yours look like raisins next to mine. And whoever heard of growing casabas in Minnesota anyway? You're going to be the joke of the garden show. My whole body shuddered. They're going to get into a fist fight, I realized, and Mr. McCall will squash my dad. Joke, Mr. McCall growled. You're the joke. You and your sour tomatoes and those stupid lawn ornaments. Now leave before I really lose control. Mr. McCall stomped up to his front door. Then he spun around and said, I don't want my son hanging around with Joe anymore. Your son probably wrecked your tomatoes just as he wrecked my melons. He disappeared into the house, slamming the door so hard the porch shook. We almost had a real Donnybrook there in the old neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn, I love that. I'm glad I got to read it. Now, we fast forward later that night. Joe can't sleep because he's afraid his dad and his neighbor are just going to start fighting out in the yard and murder each other or murder each other's families. It's a real worry. I would have it as well. He's also worried about the gnomes. So he gets up and looks out the window, trying to check on everything, make sure dads aren't killing each other and gnomes aren't frolicking about. There's a heavy fog outside, so he can't really see much, but he can make out all the lawn ornaments. He can see dear Lila. And he squints, but the gnomes are gone. Bum, bum, bum.
He charges into his parents' room and he's just like, guys, wake up. I've got some news for you. The gnomes are gone. His mom wakes up immediately and she's just like, please shut the door. Please. I wish we hadn't had you. I wish it so much. One child was enough. Why did we have another one? Dad doesn't wake up immediately, but Joe's just like, guys, you gotta wake up. The gnomes are gone. And they're just like, you need to go to bed right now. We'll talk about this in the morning. You're in trouble. And then he's just like, you know what? I should wake up Mindy. I bet Mindy would believe me. So he just barges in there. It's like, Mindy, the gnomes, they're also gone. It's super big emergency because the gnomes are gone. And she's just like, could you stop? I can't. Go away. Get out of here. I'm still mad at you about the closet incident. Probably. I need to I need to stop these gnomes. So he runs outside into the fog because he's going to stop these gnomes before Mr. McCall's house gets wrecked or they burn down his pumpkin patch or some nonsense. Mr. McCall's definitely... This is definitely a homicide in the making.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's super foggy. It's disorientating, just confusing. And he's like, you know what? I should go back inside. But then he hears the sound of tiny little footsteps, like, I don't know, a ventriloquist dummy or lawn gnome running through the lawn, just a little pit, just running by in the fog. And then something cackles, grabs him by the waist and throws him onto the ground. Bum, bum, bum.
My God. Body slammed.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
It was Moose. Oh. Moose also couldn't sleep, just out here also frolicking about in the foggy yard. Says he kept hearing noises. Then he looked outside. Can you imagine? I imagine this from Moose's perspective. He's like, man, I can't sleep. I think my dad's going to kill our neighbor's dad and their dog. I really liked my neighbors. Wonder how they're doing. Wait, is that Joe outside in the yard lurking around? What the fuck? And he just goes outside. So he literally says he comes out to bother Joe. He's like, I saw you outside. I thought I'd come bother you. Joe is like, well, Moose, the reason I'm out here is because the gnomes are missing. You know why I'm out here in the middle of the night? Because the gnomes are missing. He stared for a long time. This is a trick, right? No, it's for real. I've got to find them. Moose frowned at me. What did you do? Hide the ugly little creeps? Where are they? Come on, tell me. I didn't hide them, I insisted. Tell me, he repeated, leaning over me, bringing his face an inch from mine. Or suffer the 10 tortures. Moose shoved his huge hands hard against my chest. I fell back and landed in the wet grass again. He thumped down on my stomach and pinned my arms to the ground. Tell me, Moose insisted. Tell me where they are. Then he bounced up and down on top of me. Stop, I gasped. Stop. He stopped because lights flashed on in both of our houses. Oh, wow, I whispered. We're in major trouble now. I heard my front door bang open. A second later, Moose's door opened too. We froze. Keep quiet, I whispered. Maybe they won't see us. Who's out here? My father called. What's going on, Jeffrey? I heard Mr. McCall shout. What's all the noise out here? I don't know, my dad replied. I thought maybe Joe... His voice trailed off. We're safe, I thought. We're hidden by the fog. Then I heard a low click. The long, thin beam of a flashlight swept across the yard. It settled on Moose and me. Joe! Dad screamed. What are you doing out there? Why didn't you answer me? Moose! Mr. McCall shouted in a deep, angry voice. Get in here! Move it! Moose climbed up and raced into his house. I hoisted myself up from the grass for the second time that night and slowly made my way inside. Dad crossed his arms tightly across his chest. You woke us up twice tonight, and you're outside in the middle of the night again? What's wrong with you? Listen, Dad, I only went outside because, well, the gnomes are missing. Check, I begged. You'll see. My father glared at me with narrowed eyes. These gnome stories are getting out of hand, he snapped. I've had it. Now go upstairs before I ground you for the entire summer. Dad, I'm begging you. I've never been so serious in my life. Please look, I pleaded. Please, please, please. And then I added, I'll never ask you for anything else again. I guess that's what convinced him. Okay, he said, sighing wearily. But if this is another joke... My father stepped over to the living room window and peered out into the swirling fog. Please let the gnomes still be gone, I prayed silently. Please let Dad see that I'm telling the truth, please. Bum, bum, bum.
So Dad doesn't see the gnomes at first.
Oh, thank God, fuck.
And he's just like, oh shit, you're right. Oh, wait, there they are. Right there. Yeah. Joe, you dum-dum. Did you know that it's hard to see things in fog? Why, once I was driving home and I saw a UFO, or an UFO, as they call it, and turns out it was actually just a silver balloon tied to a mailbox, or at least that's what the federal agents told me it was. Now shut the fuck up about the gnomes, Joe. And Joe's just like, God damn it. So he goes back to bed. It's a horrible day and night because it's just like grounded. Then the gnomes are murderous. Tomatoes are dead. No blue ribbons this year. His dad thinks he's a liar. Moose isn't allowed to hang out with him, but doesn't seem to stop him because he's too strong. But then he's like, you know what? Today's going to be a great day, I bet. I'm going to wake up. I'm just going to open my eyes. It's going to be a beautiful day. And then he looks into McCall's yard and, son of a bitch! Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Somehow it got worse. Flavors of the first Night of the Living Dummy. Just chaos upon chaos. Mr. McCall's red Jeep was splattered in white paint all over. And I felt this because I too have a red Jeep. And if I'd seen it splattered in white paint, well, by God, I'd shit every duck on my dashboard. Moose is outside. He tells Joe, he meets Joe out there, and he's like, Mr. McCall, he was livid. He was very upset. He called the cops. This is a cop matter. The melons, not so much, but this is a big deal. This is a little more vandalism. And at first, Mr. McCall thought it was Joe's dad about the tomatoes, but Moose's mom talked some sense into him. She was like, listen, that's crazy to think that he would do that. I think that this is a separate incident. Maybe calm down. Don't murder the neighbors.
Yet.
Joe is worried about the police, which is a lot. It's a heavy for a 12-year-old to think the police are going to come down on you. He's afraid they're going to pin it on him or pin it on them because they were both verified to be outside that night when the thing happened to the Jeep. And potentially the only thing saving Joe is the fact that Moose was also out there, or else Mr. McCall might just go ahead and murder Joe altogether. But Joe tracks white paint. He follows the white paint from, I don't know how nobody else had investigated this, but Joe, the only one with the Sherlock Holmes streak, starts looking for clues, and he tracks a streak of white paint in the grass all the way over to the gnomes. And they were grinning. And Joe, then he's like, hey, Moose, come over here and look. It's the gnomes. They're over here. They're up to something. They tracked the white paint over here. I think they've been doing all this. I think that they've been the ones doing this. And Joe's like, but I can feel your stares, Moose. Don't worry. Listen, I know we got to catch them in the act. Just this is circumstantial. We got to see them do it. And they'll hide around the house tonight to watch. That's what we'll do. We'll hide around the side of the house tonight. We'll keep an eye on these little guys, and we'll watch them get up to it. It's very much like Night of the Living Dummy. We're just going to watch two things that shouldn't be alive come alive and do things that they shouldn't. And Moose, now he thinks this is stupid because lawn gnomes are lawn gnomes. They're not alive. And he reiterates this to Joe. He's like, Joe, this is dumb, dude. I don't think it's I will hang out with you tonight.
It's dumb.
But I think this is stupid. Well, fast forward. It's midnight. Joe and Moose meet up. And Moose, he says this. He's like, I can't believe I'm hiding behind a bush in the middle of the night, spying on lawn ornaments. It's like, yeah, I can't believe I'm reading it and enjoying it. But they hear rustling and scraping near their bush. And they see glowing eyes. Uh-oh. And Moose goes to grab it. He thinks he's got one. And there's a raccoon. Now he's got rabies. That's tough.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I accidentally grabbed a raccoon and got scratched?
You didn't. But I haven't looked up at you in a while. Now you have curlers in your hair.
Yeah. Well, because my hair, it's getting sweatier in here with the air conditioning off. And so to get my hair off my forehead where it's getting sweatier, I put curlers in my hair. So now my forehead can air out.
Oh, that looks cool. That's a good look. Probably has nothing to do with your rabies.
No.
But it's they hang out there for a while, dude. They meet up at midnight. It's 2 a.m. now. They've been in this bush, two boys in a bush for 2 hours waiting for a lawn ornament to move. And they haven't budged. And Moose is like, I kind of want to go home. All right? He's like, you're pretty good. This is a good part of the book. He says, Moose says to Joe, you're a pretty good guy. So I hate to tell you this, Joe, but you're crazy as, and right as he was about to say fuck, I know it was fuck. You're crazy as fuck. His sentence is stopped short. And they both watch the gnomes come to life. Stretch their arms, stroke their chins, do gnome stuff. They're moving, Moose said loudly. And then Joe, he can't believe it. Joe loses his balance and he just falls into the bush. And then the gnomes hear it and they look over, and now the gnomes have seen them and they're going to eat their brains. Dumb.
I love that he just topples into the bush. Like, it's not an action scene at all. No, oh man, no, Moose whispered. He tugged me to my feet. They're moving. They're really moving. Squinting through the branches, we both stared in horror at Hap and Chip. The gnomes bent their knees, limbering up. Then they each took one stiff step, then another. I was right. They are alive, I thought. Very alive. And they're coming for Moose and me. We have to run, I told myself. We have to get out of here. But neither of us could take our eyes off the living lawn gnomes. The full moon suddenly appeared low over the trees. The front lawn lit up as if someone had turned on a spotlight. The stocky figures swung their short, fat arms and began to run. Their pointed hats cut through the air like shark's fins. They scrambled toward us on their stumpy legs. Stumpy legs. Moose and I dropped to our knees and tried to hide. My whole body was trembling so hard I was making the bush shake. The gnomes ran closer, so close that I could see the dark red of their evil eyes and the white gleam of their grins. I clenched my fists so tightly my hands ached. What were they going to do to us? I shut my eyes and heard them run past. Heard thudding footsteps, whistling breaths. Opened my eyes to see them racing across the cement walk and around the side of the and around the side of the house. Moose, they didn't see us, I whispered happily. We helped each other to our feet. I felt dizzy. The dark ground tilted. My legs felt soft and rubbery like jello. Moose wiped his sweaty brow. Where are they going? He whispered. I shook my head. I don't know, but we have to follow them. Come on! So the kids scatter to follow the little fellas, and they see them start opening cans of the black paint that are left outside the house. You'd think after the first incident, where the paint cans they left outside were thrown all over, like maybe secure all the paint cans, but they didn't do that. So they open up the cans of the black paint and they start throwing it over the walls on the fresh white paint. They're like, Moose should tackle them more specifically, and then they'll drag them inside. And Joe's parents will be like, "Oh shit, why did you find these two little people who were dressed in costumes and you kidnap them? That's illegal, Moose. That's illegal. I don't care how they're dressed. They're people. They're people." But then Moose accidentally trips over Buster's rope, which wakes up the dog, and the dog sees the gnomes and he's just like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get me some gnomes," says Buster the dog. And gnomes spin around and they're just like, "Oh fuck, it's children. Get him!" Chip growled. "Don't let him escape!" Bum, bum, bum. Also, they're fucking like 18 inches tall or whatever. Like it says actually in the back of the book how tall they are in my edition. These kids need to be fighting back a lot more throughout this book, I feel like. But anyway, right. you get in there because I feel like I always get mad in books when they're fighting smaller monsters because I'm just like, bro, that seems like a fun time. Like, I could feel like a hero because I stopped. Yeah, just right in the face, as hard as you can. Don't be. I feel like too many times in movies you see people like, I got to get down there with my hands and like get 1-to-1 with. No, kick it. Just kick it.
Yeah, Janikowski.
Those puppets in Puppet Master, like half of them, those deaths could have been avoided with a good swift kick, like steel-toed boot and a kick. Come on. Anyway, 100%. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. With a broom. Chapter 20. Yeah.
Anyway, Joe and Moose, they run, and Buster's barking. Gnomes are giggling, gaining on him. Joe runs. He runs super fast for Joe. He's not a big runner, but he gets a cramp in his side. Can't run anymore. He's like, he's like, I'm a goner. The gnomes are just going to pile on me and murder me. I don't stand a chance.
It's just two. It's just two little guys.
I know. And he's got to be able to outrun them. They got little feet, little stumpy legs. Yeah. How fast they run.
Little stumpers. We call them stumpers. Yeah.
That might be, okay.
That might be offensive. We're going to have to take this to a sensitivity panel afterwards and determine if calling a lawn gnome's legs stumpers qualifies as being offensive.
I'll need to ask my gnome friends what they think of that. But the front door swings open. Just in time, all right? It's a lifesaver, and it's Mindy. And she's wondering, what the fuck is going on out here? Mindy, watch out! And then the gnomes grab her, because they're like, well, shit, fresh kid, we don't need the two running, I'll just grab this one. And they drag her down the porch steps and into the street, and that's where the Spanish got their cover. Bum, bum, bum.
This is really terrifying, especially if you're reading the Spanish version, and you're just like, oh, shit, this is where they kill her. But
yeah, also imagine being Mindy, you just hear a fracas outside, and you step outside, and then two little gnomes just carry you off. Yeah. Like, what? That's the perspective that's scary.
Yeah, Mindy is not having a good night all of a sudden. Like, she probably has curlers in her hair. She's wearing a bathrobe, actually. They say she's wearing like a robe the whole time. So not a good day for Mindy. Night for Mindy. So they chase after Mindy, who apparently the gnomes are faster than two 12-year-old boys while carrying a 14-year-old girl. Like, these gnomes are like...
I know Moose can move. Moose has got that linebacker build. I mean, he's not slow.
No.
Physically.
So they get past several houses, and they're just like, hey, buddy, stop. Put down my sister. What are you doing? And then all of a sudden, the gnomes are just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, buddy. Don't you worry about it. And so they put down Mindy, and they stop, and they're just like, all right, now that we're all out in the open, and they put her down in a hedge. I don't know what that means exactly for storage. But so Chips is just like, hey, we mean you no harm. Hey, we mean you no harm. The gnomes' expressions were serious now. Their eyes peered at us through the darkness. I don't believe this, Mindy cried, straightening her robe. This is crazy. Tell me about it, I muttered. Please listen to us, Hap rasped. We mean you no harm. Their voices are not going to be consistent at all, I guess. Chip repeated. No harm, Mindy shrieked. No harm. You just dragged me from my home. You... We only wanted to get your attention, Hap said softly. Well, you've got it, Mindy exclaimed. We mean you no harm, Chip said. Once again. Please believe us. How can we believe you? I demanded, finally finding my voice. Look at all the trouble you've caused. You've ruined the gardens. You splashed paint everywhere. We can't help it, Hap interrupted. We really can't, Chip echoed. You see, we're mischief gnomes. You're what? Mindy cried. We're mischief gnomes. We do mischief. That's a mission in life. We do mischief. We're mischief gnomes, Hap explained. Whenever there is mischief in the world, we're there, Chip added. Mischief is our job. We don't mean any harm. We're mischief gnomes. We can't help ourselves. He bent down and broke off a chunk of the concrete curb. Then he pulled open the mailbox across from us and shoved the piece of concrete inside. See, I can't help myself. I have to do mischief wherever I go. That's me, mischief gnome. Me, a mischief gnome. Hap giggled. Without us, the world would be a pretty dull place. Without us, the mischief gnomes, don't you think, wouldn't it? Ah, hey. Don't you guys love us, the mischief gnomes? Hey, we're not lawn gnomes. We do mischief. It would be a much better place, Mindy insisted. Fucking proponent of genocide Mindy over here. Just like, yeah. I wish you all were dead. Crossing her arms in front of her. Moose still hadn't said a word. He just stood and stared at the two talking lawn gnomes. Hap and Chip made pouty faces. Please don't hurt our feelings, Chip rasped. Our life isn't easy. We need your help, Hap added. You want us to help you do mischief? I cried. No way. You've already gotten me into major trouble. No. We're mischief gnomes. We need you to help get us our freedom because we're mischief gnomes, Chip said solemnly. Please just listen and believe. We don't mean any harm. Listen and believe, Hap echoed. We mean you no harm. No, we're mischief gnomes. We lived in a land far from here, Chip began, in a forest, deep and green. We guarded the mines and protected the trees. We performed our mischief innocently, but we also did a lot of good because we're mischief gnomes. We was hard-working people, Hap told us, scratching his head, and we was happy in our forest home doing mischief. But doing mischief because we're mischief gnomes, you two. Because we do it. Mischief. But then the mines were closed, and the forest was cut down, Chip continued. We was captured, kidnapped, taken far from home. No mischief to be done, even though we're mischief gnomes can't do mischief if you've been kidnapped. We're shipped to your country, forced to work as lawn ornaments. It's fucking, did you even know it's a job? How do you even get that job? Slaves, Hap said, shaking his head sadly. Forced to stand all day and all night. Just slaves, because we're mischief gnomes and they caught us and they made us do work. No harm, though. No harm, no foul. We're just mischief. That's impossible, Mindy cried. Don't you get bored? How do you stand so still? I made myself so tired. It's my own fault. There wasn't this much to read. We go into a trance.
I was wondering, I had to open the book and be like, I don't remember half of this.
We go into a trance, Chip explained. Time passes without realizing it. We just come out of trance, we do the mischief at night, and then we go about doing our job. You mean mischief, I declared. They both nodded. But we want to be free, Hap continued. To go where we want, to do mischief, to live where we choose, and then do more mischief, and we want to find another forest where we can live in freedom. Freedom to do mischief. Two tiny gnome tears rolled down his fat cheeks. Chip sighed and raised his eyes to me. Will you help us? Will you help us free our brothers? Help you do what? I demanded. Help our friends and us escape, Chip replied. There are 6 others, Hap explained. They're locked in the basement at the store where you bought us. We need your help to set them free so we can do mischief. We can climb into the basement window, his friend continued. We're too short to climb out, just too small. We got these little stumpers. Can't climb out with these little stumpers. Come on. We can do mischief. We can't climb out of a basement. We're too short to reach the doorknob to let... Wait, the fuck... Oh, hey. Oh, I agree. I get it. They're tricking them and everything, but like... How deep is this fucking... They can't stand on each other's shoulders? The kids should be looking at these little gnomes, be like, stack 'ems. You fucking stand up on him and stand up on him, and then you pull them up from up at the ground. Anyway, too short to reach the doorknob to let ourselves out through the door to do the mischief and be free. So the kids are like, just shut the fuck up. We get it. Jesus, I do love that they're like are so unhelpful and being like, we need your help. And then just there's like a page of just like, I wish you could help us. We just, and like, what do you want? Oh yeah, our friends. You need to help our friends. We didn't, yeah, that's all we wanted. Like, all right, Jesus.
Yeah, I just need you to open a door for us, please.
And the kids are like, we don't really fucking want to. And they're like, no, please. And it's just like, ugh. So kids are just like, what should we do? Bum, bum, bum. That was a really short chapter. I'm sorry, but like, I really, we like to do mischief.
I enjoyed the caricatures. It was very funny. Well, the kids decide to help these annoying little bastards, and Chip and Hap get excited. They're very thankful that they get to go back to doing their mischief. And they do jumps, and they click their boots together, which reminds me of when Lieutenant Dangle comes out of the shop with his new boots. He's just new boot goofing. I imagine these 2 little gnomes are new boot goofing there. And then the gnomes, the kids are like, all right, yeah, we'll help you tomorrow. It's late. We're going to head on to bed, but yeah, tomorrow we'll head over there. And they're like, no, you got to help us now. In the middle of the night, you got to do it now. You got to go now. And well, they make a good point. They say it's dark. The store is closed. It's a perfect time. You could sneak by Miss Anderson. You can get the gnomes out. You don't got to deal with. You ain't got to deal with anybody. All right, now's a good time. The kids aren't sure about it. They're like, well, I don't know. We've never really done a B&E. And the gnomes are like, well, we'll do more mischief. You don't like it when we do that. We'll get your dog murdered. And they were like, all right, yeah, we'll go then. And so they walk to the store with the gnomes. Gnomes clicking behind them. Click, 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 click. And they're all walking. And Joe lowers himself. They get all the way to Miss Anderson's little place there. And Joe lowers himself to the edge of the already open basement window. And he slides on down in. And Moose and Mindy prepare to enter right behind him. B&E. Bum, bum, bum.
So, Moose and Mindy follow. Then the gnomes do too. Kids are just like, you little fucks, why'd you hop in? If you can't get back out again. And just like, well, you could.
Even as I was reading that, I was like, is anybody going to call this out? Because we just said that they do. All right.
But then all the ceiling lights come on. And the basement is just filled with gnomes. They're just like, that's not 6, that's 600 of them. And Joe's just like, Hap and Chip lied to us? And then Hap's just like, does he's like a little flamenco thing, I'm assuming, just like a little, and a couple of little claps. And then all the gnomes start to come to life. They're doing the stretching, the giggling, the bending, the chattering. And then Hap is just like, The kids are just like, all right, we need to boogie the fuck out of here. But Hap gets in front of them. And again, he's like not even 3 feet tall. Just fucking grab his, just rip his head off. Just.
Yeah.
But anyway, except now we got a situation. It's not just like a couple of gnomes, Now it's 100 gnome or hundreds of gnomes.
A bunch of gnomes. Oh, yeah.
So They get cut off. Happen, Chip. They're just like, hey, silence, everybody. Shh, we have to give a speech now. Hey, mischief. The hundreds of gnomes instantly fell silent. We have brought the young humans for the mischief, Hap announced, grinning happily. We have kept our promise, Chip declared, giggles and cheering. And then, to my horror, the gnomes began moving forward. Their eyes flashed excitedly. They reached out their stubby arms toward us. The pointed hats bobbed and slid forward like sharks on the attack. Mindy Moose, I do like when he describes their little pointed hats as shark fins, because he did that earlier in the book too. Mindy Moose and I backed up to the wall. The gnomes crowded up against us. Their little hands plucked at my clothes, slapped at my face, pulled my hair. Stop, I shrieked. Get back, get back. We came to help you, I heard Mindy scream. Please, we came to help you escape. Loud giggling. But we don't want to escape, a grinning gnome declared. Now that you're here, it's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna do mischief. Oh my God, we're mischief. No, you little fucks, you're so fucking, Jesus Christ. We even said we're fucking bum. Ah, we did it this time. The mischief gnomes. Bum.
And the kids are somehow upset that they were fooled by fucking mischief gnomes.
Yeah, it's
self-titled.
Man, it's on the can. Like, it's on the label. Like, it's like you bought a can of extra salty hot dogs, and then you open the can of extra salty hot dogs, and you're like, these hot dogs are too salty. Like, right? You get a can of salty gnomes. What are you gonna? Or Monster Blood? Yeah, that's relevant. Also,
Monster Blood's also a go with it. Monster Blood's a real salty hot dog of a book. I'll agree with you there. And it is funny because the mischief gnomes are like, yeah, we said we were mischief gnomes, dude. Like, we said that to you.
I will say,
it's like one of the first things we would think we said.
I will say the level of mischief that they want to get up with the kids is beyond the point of mischief, I would say. Like, the things they start saying that they want to do with the kids is less mischief and more various forms of murder, I feel like. So, potato, or whatever. But that's just me.
Potato. Moose declares, he's like, let us go home. We want to go home now. But the gnomes have just begun. The whole room The whole room erupted in laughter. Hap shook his head. But the mischief has just begun, he declared, cheers and giggles. Chip turned to the crowd of excited gnomes. So what shall we do with our lovely prisoners? Any ideas? Let's see if they bounce, a gnome called from near the back of the room. Yeah, dribble them. A dribbling contest. No, bounce them against the wall. Bounce and catch. More cheers. No, fold them into tiny squares. I love it when we fold humans into tiny squares. Yes, a folding contest, another gnome cried. Fold them. Several gnomes began to chant. Tickle them, a gnome in front suggested. Tickle them for hours. Tickle. The room rang out with excited chants. Fold them. Tickle. Dribble. The kids look on dazed and frightened. At this, I might have found the humor in it. I might have laughed a little bit. I would have been like, damn, we're going to die, but this is great.
Okay, in your head, did you imagine that when they're being folded, it would be like a cartoonish situation where they're like using magic to actually fold the children? Or did you imagine, like I did, something far more horrifying?
Oh, it was horrifying.
Okay, yeah, that they were attempting to actually fold the unfoldable. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Bones are breaking. Things are
just we're on the same page. I'm sure that's what R.L. Stein meant too. I'm sure on the show they'll show them as being like, if they did a tug of war, they'd be like Mr. Fantastic stretched out, be like, oh, like I've got all big long arms and legs now. But
yeah, the tickling is the creepier of the things. Yeah. But folding and dribbling a child will hurt them.
Yeah, and bouncing them off the wall.
The kids, they're not happy with the situation. But then Joe has an idea. He loudly threatens the gnomes, and he says if they are not let go, well, we'll all scream, and Mrs. Anderson will come down here and rescue us. And the gnomes fall silent. And Joe's like, ha, fucking got him. But then the gnomes all burst out in laughter again, because apparently Miss Anderson, and they all know it, she can't hear shit. And then they're back to chanting, tickle, dribble, fold 'em. So Joe gives up. Which is a thing Joe does. Joe just gives up. He says they're doomed. They don't stand a chance. They're about to get tickled, folded, and dribbled. Dum.
So this just keeps going. Then they're just like, let's stretch them. Let's do a tug of war. That also sounds horrifying to me. So
drawn and quartered?
Oh, yeah. I just can imagine the sound of dislocating shoulders and, like, legs popping out of sockets. Ugh, disgusting. Delightful. Kids are like, let's try and think of a plan. And they don't. They're pretty bad at it, to be honest. Not very smart children. I figure a 14-year-old has to have some plans. Like, I don't know, fighting. Like, pick up a crowbar or something. You're in the fucking basement. But then Joe hears Buster bark, and he's like, oh, those gnomes were so fucking scared of Buster that even when they're supposed to be frozen, they're just like, no, don't lick me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So instead of thinking, I would have been like, maybe they don't like to be licked, and just started licking the nearest gnome. But no, he's just like, they're probably scared of the dog. So,
do you think the gnomes would have reacted to that if you just started licking them? They're like, all right, seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah, they probably would have been like, maybe he's a mischief gnome. And he's just like, sure.
He's a mischief giant.
Like earlier when he just rips off a thing of concrete off the curb, it's like, is that mischief? Or that just seems willful destruction of property. Doesn't seem mischievous so much as she's just breaking the curb. Anyway, he's like, guys, I think the gnomes are scared of the dog. Let's get the dog. And so they start yelling at Buster through the basement window, and they're like, Buster! Hey, Buster! And he's just like, no thanks, and he keeps lying down. He's a lot like Lily. He's just like, I'll walk when I fucking feel like it. Let's take a nap instead. And I'm like, that's not a good plan, Lily. We're supposed to be walking and keep your exercise up and keep you working out. Anyway, so after a little more prodding, Buster's just like, all right, I'll get up. And he gets up, and he's just like, bye, and then he leaves. He just walks away.
No.
Bum, bum, bum.
The gnomes, they keep...
Buster is the most useless dog in the Goosebumps books, I feel like.
And he's just being a dog. He's just like, nah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. I'm not into this. But the gnomes keep chanting, and now they've moved on to different things. Trampolines now are getting involved, more tug of war. And they decide, they've gone down the list of things that they like. We've got dribbling. We've got folding. We've got tickling, tug of war. We got all kinds of stuff. They're going to put it to a vote. All right. They got too many suggestions on the table. We got to figure out what we're going to do with these kids. So they put it to a vote. And as Joe is realizing that his fate is about to be voted upon, Joe remembers the silent dog whistle. Maybe that will get Buster to return. He's been blowing that whistle a little bit, you know. Moose can't hear it, but it's because Moose don't understand how it works. He's like, I'll blow the whistle and get the dog back in here. So he pulls out the whistle, and then all of the gnomes yell, the whistle! The whistle! And they get silent. And Hap and Chip then dive at him, and they slap the whistle out of his hands, and it rolls across the basement floor, and boy, we got a fracas. Boom, boom, boom.
So Gnome picks up the whistle, but then Moose Spear tackles him. The whistle flies out of the gnome's hand, goes towards Joe. Joe gets picks up the fumble, but then he gets tackled by 3 more gnomes. Whistle's out of his hand. Gnomes are going crazy trying to get the whistle. Moose is fighting 4 or 5 gnomes on his own. I'm imagining just like the scene in the first Lord of the Rings, I think, when that cave ogre thing comes out from the thing, and then it's fighting all the fantasy characters and stuff. Little halflings, and so it's just like, oh, and he's just flinging gnomes around, and just, like a cave troll. Anyway,
I also thought of it as like a Bugs Bunny gag, where like at a football game, and there's a fumble, and all the football players are diving on it, and then Bugs Bunny's like over here holding the football. That's kind of what
Or there's like a ridiculous number of gnomes holding on to Moose as he's like running across the basement. But then Hap has the whistle, and he puts it on the ground. He's about to stomp it with his little gnome feet. But Joe runs, just diving tap, grabs it, rolls, narrowly missing, like getting the thing stepped on, and he's just super excited. He takes it out, and he's like, I'm going to get that Buster. And he blows into that whistle, and bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, he blows like a motherfucker. And then everyone froze, expecting a dog to appear any second. Complete silence. And so they look around, and all of the gnomes are frozen still. And Joe walks around and starts pushing gnomes over, which has got to be fun because there's 600 of them. Just funk, bum, 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 funk, bum. Wondering what made them go into their trance state. I guess it wasn't Buster after all. It was the whistle they were afraid of. So the kids climb out of the basement actually using Hap and Chip's head as support, give a little bit of a thanks for the boost, guys. But of course they don't reply because they're, dead. In whatever trance they're in. The next day, all right, we fast forward. I don't know what happens that night. I feel like that something had to, like, after you survive that, you go home and something happens. You party, you do something.
Yeah, because all that shit still went down.
Yeah.
And now it also got escalated. Like, there's paint on the side of the house now that the parents are like, what the fuck did this happen? Like,
exactly.
And that just happened.
A little bit. Need some spackle, but whatever. The next day, Mom warns kids that Dad is upset. Someone stole his 2 lawn gnomes. And when he gets home, Dad says he brought home a little surprise. Come and see. Dad led us out to the front lawn. The sun was disappearing behind the trees and the sky was gray. But I could still see clearly what Dad had purchased at Lawn Lovely this time. An enormous brown plaster gorilla. At least 8 feet tall, with gigantic black eyes and a bright purple chest. The gorilla had paws the size of baseball mitts and a head as big as a basketball. It's the ugliest thing I ever saw, Mom cried, both hands pressed to her face. You're not really going to put that horrible monster on our front lawn, are you, dear? Anything is better than those lawn gnomes, I thought. Anything is better than lawn gnomes who come alive and do terrible mischief. I glanced at Mindy. I had a feeling she was thinking the same thing. I think it's a beauty, Dad, I said. It's the best-looking lawn gorilla I ever saw. It's great, Dad, Mindy agreed. Dad smiled. Mom turned and hurried back to the house, shaking her head. I glanced up at the gorilla's enormous purple and brown painted face. Be a good gorilla, I murmured. Don't be like those awful gnomes. Then, as I started to turn away, the gorilla winked at me. Bum, bum-ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. The end. Now we've got a lawn gorilla. I love the idea of a lawn gorilla. That's funny. But yeah, there we go. That's it. That's the book. It was essentially lawn slappies.
It was lawn slappies, which I don't hate.
No, it was a fun book. It wasn't very original in terms of like Goosebumps setups. I mean,
yeah.
it really, I think it's too close, honestly, to the dummy book. And it's sandwiched between two. We got another dummy book coming up. So it's maybe that's what's going against it. Is it's a little samey right now, but I thought
if we hadn't just read Night of the Living Dummy 2, like, this would have been like, oh, it's been a long time since we've had a story like that. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, we have more kids who have something around that they can't get the grown-ups believe. And yeah, but I still love, like, I actually love Moose. Like you said, he's kind of an atypical kid character. Usually, like, that kid would be the bully, to be honest. But I liked him. And Joe was kind of a nothing, too. Like, even when we went over, it's just like, did I misremember that? Did I miss some really cool things about Joe? It's like, no, I didn't. I didn't miss anything cool about Joe.
No,
he's just this little chubby kid who's too dumb to fight gnomes.
The more colorful characters are really just the McCalls.
Yeah, the whole McCall family.
Yeah,
they kind of reminded me a little bit of Conan's family too, where it's just like large, healthy people.
Right.
Except
Conan has a good setup. He's a bit of a bitch, but
that's true.
He has a good family. I fear the McCall father. I think he's mean to Moose, and that's why Moose acts out.
So I have a rating already, because I'm usually pretty bad about thinking of my rating things.
Oh, please. Yeah, what do you got?
4 out of 6 successful rings tossed onto a gnome hat.
Wow. 4 out of 6. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I realize I jumped pretty fast through the discussion on the book, but I just want to get that out before you stole it from me, because I don't.
Sure. But, I mean, what's your... Defend yourself. Why 4 out of 6?
It's because, like, it is a solid book in terms of, like, the gags are good. I like the idea of the really stupid mischief gnomes and the kids getting fooled so easily by the gnomes that literally just 5 minutes ago kidnapped your sister forcibly against her will, told you they were mischief gnomes, were strong enough to rip up concrete, which makes it even more impressive, actually, that Moose took 5 of them on by himself. If they can, like, rip a block of concrete just off. I mean, maybe it was already loose or something, but...
I mean, that is a good point. We were kind of joking about, like, you could take on lawn gnomes, but I think maybe the concrete was to show that they are strong. I think that was the whole purpose of that bit.
Also, the ending did seem a little bit like The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, where the real dumb farmhand was reading from the book, and then the grizzly bear, the stuffed bear, starts to come alive while he's reading his magic book. Although this at least makes more sense, because no one understands why Stanley was even given his magic book back after he brought all the scarecrows back to life and held that family hostage with threats of living dead scarecrows. But
I kind of miss
this one at least
sometimes.
was just like, yeah. That was another book that had like a lot of fun moments, but overall was like kind of like, the story was kind of meh. But like there was enough like fun moments with Stanley and his kid, and the how shitty the sister treated her little brother, shoving straw down his shirt front and pants.
Damn, that shit was funny.
And he's just like, that itches. He's like, shut the fuck up. More straw. Mindy was also pretty...
I mean, she had some quirks in terms of just being a little bit neurotic, but it never really came into play.
No. Like it didn't become like, oh, she figured anything out. She was also kind of a nothing person character.
Yeah,
I will also say that my book also has like a lot of weird little extras in it, including splat stats for the gnomes. So in case you wanted to know, they have a strength of 7 splats out of 10, but their humor is 9 out of 10, which seems, I feel like a little subjective. It's literally like a little,
wow.
You can't see it for shit, but yeah, it's like a little chart with splat
that's cool.
stats. I don't know if there's some weird game that you could play with the monsters, and there's a whole little fright gallery that explains, like, it has nothing new. It's literally everything that you just read in the book, but put into like a little format that's like, they say they're from a forest in the woods and that cause mischief. It's like, thank you. I wanted a little extra, a little more juice about their origins. It does say that the last time they were seen was in classic Goosebumps number 19, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Because I of course I have the reprint, so it's a little weird. But
gotcha.
And there was also an interview with him, R.L. Stein, but like they asked him, where do gnomes come from? And he said, some come from Norway, spelled with a G. Some come from Nome, Alaska. Huh? With a G again. Did you know they date back to the ancient Gnomons?
God damn it, dude. That's the worst one.
Yeah.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah.
So you're at a 4 out of 6. I'm going to do 3.5 pink flamingos out of 7. I think it's right about half. I'm going to dock it a little bit for like not being so original, given the haunted dummies that we had. This is essentially the same thing, but I really like
3 books ago.
Yeah, it was 3 books ago, and we've gotten a lot of that. You know, it comes from beneath the sink. We've got a lot of like haunted object things that have their own will that people are trying to figure out. It seems to happen a lot. I don't know how. You mean, to his credit, we're 34 spooky books in. There's only so many things you can do that would appeal to a kid. So I ain't mad about it. I'm just maybe a little over this one or this type. But 3.5. I thought, I
like a cursed object would be good to have back, like a proper cursed object where it's like the camera from.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for more.
No more like living objects, but like a cursed object that's like, curses people.
I can't wait for Say Cheese and Die Part 2. But yeah, I liked the dynamic. I don't think we've ever, at least that I can remember, had 2 adults angry with each other in a book. I think that was new, and that was interesting. So that was fun. I
said, it did feel like there was a whole other story going on.
I was interested in that. I want to see the dads duke it out over garden stuff.
I was thinking, as a further answer to the email that we read last time, maybe I'd like to write certain books from the point of view from the adults, but like just deadly serious, like doing like the parents of the girl who disappeared in Say Cheese and Die for the 24 hours that their daughter was just gone, or like the parents who actually did send their kids to psychiatrists because they're like, I think our daughters might be crazy. like they destroyed the kitchen with food, and they said a dummy did it. Like, what is going on? Like, I think that would be another thing I would think would be fun to do, is like just parents brought to the edge by their supposedly crazy kids.
It'd be like a fun web short, like little like counseling sessions recorded of Goosebumps parents.
Yes,
just sitting on the couch talking about it. But we do have some trivia from this book. When asked which Goosebumps books could have been better, like, who would ask him that? Like, hey, R.L. Stine, great catalog. Which ones could have been better? Piece of shit. Anyway, he brought up Go Eat Worms, which he harps on a lot. He has some regret about that one. And also this book, stating he wasn't happy with the writing. But I thought it was decent. I didn't really have an issue with the writing for the most part. But, you know. He's the author. For a limited time in 1996, you might appreciate this, Dylan, or at least maybe Pam will, KFC in Canada offered this book for $2.29 with the purchase of a meal. You get free lunch. Yeah, it's a decent deal, because they were, you know, the back of my book shows that you can send in a thing and get each book for $3.50. So $2.29 is a pretty good deal. You can get a little KFC on the side.
I'll have to ask Pam if she remembers that particular promotion.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. And also, despite the novel's title, the titular gnomes aren't really getting revenge on anything or anyone. They even mention in the book that they just cause mischief for fun. So, title's completely fucked. But other than that, pretty good book. That's going to do it. Now, I am pretty excited for the next one, because it is, for some reason, The Shocker on Shock Street, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like the Bees book, where even though I haven't read it, it has transcended the catalog of Goosebumps books to where I'm just hyper aware of it for some reason. The title, the cover, there's just something about that one that I feel like everyone knows or references it. You reference it a lot.
Which is weird, because I don't really remember the plot that well. I remember that it well, I just did read the synopsis while you're talking, so that might be a false memory now. But I read the synopsis, I'm like, I think I vaguely remembered it takes place in a theme park, and that's it. I don't remember any of this other nonsense that they said. And I think I remember the twist is the weird thing.
Oh, I must have stuck out to you. Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get there, you can always email us, wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Email us, your impressions of the show, your experience with the books, or just anything. We always like to hear from you.
You can also find us on Blue Sky at Say Cheese and Pod. Drop us a line there. If you'd prefer to send us a quicker note with character restrictions as opposed to the limitless canvas of an email. It's, again, Say Cheese and Pod.
Yeah, and we, of course, love you supporting us with your ears, but if you want to do a little more, we wouldn't say no to it. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/polykill. That gets at all the shows on our lovely network here at polymedianetwork.com. We got all kinds of cool stuff, so you can support us through Patreon. You can find more stuff that way, so please do if you want. Now, Dylan, let's get to that reading of the back of the book.
Erin Wright and her best friend Marty. Oh, sorry. I had to do that at least once. I had to get that out of my system. Erin Wright and her best friend Marty love horror movies, especially Shocker on Shock Street movies. All kinds of scary creatures live on Shock Street. The Toadinator, Ape Face, the Mad Mangler. But when Ari and Marty visit the new Shocker Studio theme park, they get the scare of their lives. First, their tram gets stuck in the Cave of the Living Creeps. Then they're attacked by a group of enormous praying mantises. Oh no! Sorry, it doesn't matter. Real life is a whole lot scarier than the movies. But Shock Street isn't really real. Is it?